Hey, everybody. Welcome to this Xbox Live episode number 543 titled Xbox Liveless. My name is Rob, also known as Presar, and with me today, I've got my bestest bud, Mr. Mark. You can see the top of
Hey,
his head
I'm writing notes. Hey, everybody, how you doing?
with your right hand, like with your chin. Is that what you're doing?
No,
I learned in this thing called grade school to like sit upright and
I
write, but
am. I
but
am sitting.
yeah,
You know what? You be quiet.
or maybe it's like old age catching up to you and you need to like get close to the letters as you write them.
I can't see him anymore.
No. Yeah, old age gets to you. I don't know if I told you this before, but like when I play mobile games, like when I play my Clash, the Gears Pop or whatever, I do it with reading glasses when I'm at home. It's so much easier.
Nice.
It's fine with a tablet, and it's fine on a big screen. Oh, like clockwork. That was a little well, we better not get this show taken off the air because of your Blade. What
That's my
bloodbath
phone
song?
ringtone.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't think it was long enough. Isn't it like it has to be over 6 seconds or something like that to get you in
I
trouble?
Who knows?
Yeah.
YouTube will probably rip it anyways, just because they want to.
Mm-hmm. They'll mute out that section, which is fine. But anyway, yeah, this is a show about Xbox gaming and whatever else we want to talk about, like reading glasses for gaming. And I did find out also that if you need reading glasses for gaming, it's good to have computer glasses for actually using your like monitor or computer or laptop. Those help a lot for eye strain. Because I guess once that reading stuff goes, it's all downhill. You're just a mess. But you can listen to us live on Twitch Mixer sometimes and YouTube Tuesdays 8 p.m. or Eastern Time 7 p.m. Central. And I'm happy to report that we are on Mixer once again after
but but not YouTube.
no, YouTube is always the funky one. It's always been a problem of some sorts.
They
You
keep
know,
changing their
I
stuff and kicking people
I
off.
mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just stupid because so we go through a restreaming service, right? I think I mentioned this last week and previously we've talked about it where we send out one stream and then the service distributes to everybody else. Then that way, like for example, I'm doing the show tonight. I don't need to stream simultaneously to Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. That's three streams. I just do one and then they do it. So you would think that a service would have their stuff up to date so it works. But yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping like what's happened before is when it shows that it doesn't go to them, it actually does go. It just doesn't show up as
A live stream.
public. Yeah. It's still there. Worst case, we push it out from Twitch. So one of these days we'll figure this stuff out. Who
I
knows?
doubt it.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
Yeah, we haven't after 500 episodes. So why start
Yeah.
now?
Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. But so we are not affiliated with Microsoft or the Xbox in any way. This is a show being done by fans for fans of the Xbox. The views and opinions expressed in this show do not reflect those of Microsoft. So I know Wing has a timetable. Let's try to get this done in the next hour, right?
Yes, I do
And
have to leave.
we will rushy rush if we have to. I think we can get through some of this stuff pretty quick. So
Probably.
what have you been playing lately?
It's been a lot of the same. So Gems of War, Fortnite, Gears Pop. I think I played Gears 5 once. I haven't. Um, it's a yeah, Gears 5. I can't remember if I played it this week or last week. I do think I played. I don't know.
I
I
thought
can't
I
remember.
thought you talked about it last week.
I think I played it last week and I haven't been back because I played um Borderlands 3 this week. Um and it's weird. It's like I've got Anthem's got that new update that I need to complete. I haven't finished
Cataclysm.
Far yeah, I that's out. Far Cry New Dawn, I haven't completed. I haven't touched the Castle Wolfenstein that you and I are supposed to play.
Yeah.
Gears 5, I played it once. I think only once, maybe twice. No, I think I did play it earlier in the week. I did do it one night. But and Borderlands 3, and they're all really good games and stuff. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I just like I've been watching a lot of Netflix. It's like I'm kind of in a TV watching mode these days, and I think it's just due to everything going on in my life right now. It's things are very topsy turvy,
Yeah. No,
so I think it's just really
I,
thrown me off.
yeah, I totally get it. You know, there's two kinds of veg times that you need. There's one kind of, I'll say, it's a lesser veg time where you can play a game and just zone into it. And then
Yeah,
there's the kind of veg that basically is, I need to lay down on the sofa and like, because it's like too much effort to even sit upright and just watch TV, just like stare at it.
yep.
Sometimes cover yourself with the blanket and then sort of listen
Yep.
to the show. It's just how exhausted you are.
It is. It's like I'll lay on the couch with a TV program on that I want to see, but then I've got my phone up and I'm playing like Gears Pop or something, and next thing I know, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
So with my phone, like laying there, your phone's above you, and all of a sudden, bonk, you
Yeah.
drop it on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize, oh, you got to start your show over, and realize you lost that round of Gears Pop. So of
Yeah.
course that
Well, that
happens
would
even
have
if I'm
happened.
awake.
Yeah, that would have happened anyway.
Yeah. So, but so I don't know. That's just again, I haven't said, and I'm not going to say what's going on, but I know Rob, but it's just it's been a really rough. I'm going through some stuff family wise, and it just really sucks, and it's just been hard dealing with it, and just not feeling the desire to necessarily play. But Borderlands 3, I did play it. I think once I played it, sat down and played it for a while the night it came out, and I enjoyed it. You know, but again, it's. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I just wasn't in my own little personal hell at the moment. Um, but the game looks really good. And it's weird because of their art style. I wouldn't think that it would have looked any different than before, but it does. It's sharper. It seems to have more color. I don't know. It looks really good. It plays great. It's Borderlands, so if you like the first two, there should be nothing to stop you from getting the new one. So um, it's weird. It's weird. I keep forgetting that I took the character. I can't even remember her name, but she's the one that can like crawl into a mech. Um, and it was weird too at the beginning. You just kind of find out what all the characters can do,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I didn't know which one to take. Like, I kind of wanted them all. One of them's got this like, it's not a dog, it's some kind of animal, but it's like a wolf, like one of those things that I forgot what they're called that roam around and you're killing them all. The skags, yeah, I
Skag,
think that's
yeah.
so you get a like a pet skag, and I'm like, that's so cool. I wanted the pet skag, and then I'm like, oh, this one gets in a mech, and you can equip the mech with different things. Like, ooh, I want that one, and like the other two had stuff. I'm like, ooh, I want that too. So I'm like, well, I'll try the mech first and see how that goes. And then I found out that I kept forgetting I could do that.
Yeah.
It was like,
Because it's
you
new,
know,
right? It's a new
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And then I was sitting there playing, and my kids were watching it, and they're like, and I was about dying, and I'm like, I'm dying. And my youngest is like, well, get in your mech. I'm like, oh yeah, let me do that.
Duh.
Popped into it and annihilated everybody. And I was like, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
But again, it's like my mind is just not really on it.
Yeah.
I play the Fortnite with my kids, but even that has kind of lost its like I was playing every night, and now it's like I just play it on the weekends, and on occasion I'll get on. My youngest loves to play, so if he gets on, he's always usually bugging me every day. Let's play, but uh, you know, um, it's just I don't know everything. Anyways,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to this conversation. I don't know where I'm going, but
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 is really good. Gears 5 is really good. They are fantastic looking playing games. Um, it's just going to take me a long time, I think, to get through them. And it's a little frustrating because I found out that the Ghost Recon comes out like in another week or two, and I'm just like, that one I'm not going to be able to buy just because they simply can't at this time. But it's like, oh, here's another one I want. So I just my holiday gaming is just gonna be, I think, very different than this year than it always has been. I'm just gonna try to slowly get through some of these things whenever
Right.
I feel like it. But well, that's what I played this week. So how about you?
Yeah, I did some more of the same as well. Played some Fortnite, Rush Wars, Clash Royale. Um, I started up some Gears. Um, had some issues with it, which we'll talk about here in our first story. And but I did get through the tutorial eventually. Let's see what else. I think that was about it. And I can say one thing about Fortnite, and that's that I'm not feeling this season. It's like the actually there's issues with this season in both Battle Royale and Save the World where Battle Royale, I don't like the system that they've got right now. This whole thing with these prestige missions. I mean, it's cool that they're trying something new, but like I'm on
Yeah,
week 7 or 8, and I got through like most of the first. I still need to play with a friend, and what was another one? It was like revive somebody 3 times. I hate those revive ones, man. Those,
yeah.
you know, those suck. But
There's a real easy way to do it.
yeah, I mean, you can
It's
coordinate with somebody, but
yeah, but
but
it's a pain that you've got to basically like cheat it to get it.
yeah, and or I guess the problem too is we don't play or duos and squads enough, really.
Yeah,
But the thing with the whole prestige missions, I mean, I'm like, oh, I got to go through the prestige missions now. It's like it's hard to explain. It's just like it's become a slog almost, whereas
yeah,
previous seasons haven't. And in Save the World, I I'm trying to go through the event, and the event has like 4 pages of missions, like I don't know, 4 per page, something like that. And there's some good
yeah.
rewards, but the first mission has you like the whole meteor and the cube thing that had a parallel storyline in Save the World, like from Battle Royale. And there's this meteor that's going to crash into into the town, and it's like hovering right above like a crater, kind of like in um in Battle Royale. And the
Okay.
mission is you have to find 4 of these sensors and then deploy 4 of the sensors so they can analyze the meteor or comet or whatever it is. And the problem with it right now is that it's late in the season and this is a very specific mission. It's the first mission of the event. So I've gone into this thing maybe like half a dozen times now over the past couple of days, and I've been the only person in there. The matchmaking sucks, but I can see that you'll only get people with you if they're starting the event at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to start it at the same time as somebody else.
Yeah.
Same time of the day, within a couple seconds of each other. So I resigned myself, okay, I'm going to do this solo. And I've done a lot of missions solo. It's like no problem. You just build traps everywhere and you can take care of it. And I did some reading on Reddit, and they said you only need to protect one sensor. You can do it solo. Just protect the one that's up at the rim of the crater. So I'm like, okay. So I went through and I found three of the sensors. And then I found the fourth sensor. It's like just off the side of the top of the crater. I spent like 20 minutes trapping the heck out of it. I put defenders up. I mean, it was a thing of beauty. I used so many materials. And I mean, I was actually proud of myself. I'm like, this is going to be one of those missions that I kind of sit back and I just watch, because if you do the traps right, that can actually happen.
Yeah.
So then I go in and, because I built everything on top of the sensor. And then I go in and I, search it or whatever to pick it up. And it's like, okay, place the sensors. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I built this whole thing on top of where I found it, not where I need to place it. And then I look and it's like, I don't know, maybe like 20 tiles away is where I'm supposed to place it. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not going to redo this whole thing. So I just exited out of it. I lost all my materials. I built probably 100 traps for this thing. And I'm like, I logged out and I'm like, I'm done for today. So that was kind of funny, but I will. Oh, I got like 3 weeks to finish this mission. There's some good rewards for it, but that was kind of a funny story. I told my son about it. He laughed. He's like, "You silly dad,
Laughing
give
at
up,
his dad.
give up gaming, old man." No, he didn't say that. He will one day, but not yet. So
Now he depends on you for his gaming
yeah,
fix.
yeah. Actually, even he hasn't been playing Fortnite as much. I think I don't know if
I haven't
it's
seen you guys on, yeah.
I don't know if it's just well, he lost his gaming privileges.
Wah,
he can
wah,
he
wah.
can get them back if he does something which he was supposed to do, but it's his option on whether he wants to earn his time or not, and he has chosen not to. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah, it's a personal choice, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think even the kids are losing interest in this season. It's like I said, it's a weird one, but the next season's season 11 is coming up, and I'm sure it's going to have the whole Halloween theme, and
Yeah.
Hexylvania is the stuff that comes up on Save the World. That's usually a lot of fun. Vampires, graveyards, skeletons, all that good stuff. Candy corn. I don't like candy corn, by the way.
Yum.
That stuff is. Are you serious?
Oh, yum. I got a big old tub of it on my counter behind me.
What is the appeal of candy corn? I mean, it is just nothing. I mean,
even my kids like it, so
oh,
I don't know. I eat it now and I'm like, why did I like this as a kid? Because it really isn't that good. But
no, it's like sweet
it's
and
more
mushy and
I think it's more of nostalgia. It just reminds you of your youth, when I was a Ute.
when in your Utes.
Yeah, I'm back in my Utes.
Well, I didn't like it back then. I don't like it now either. Yeah, but you know what? Maybe it. Did you like to eat like only the frosting on cakes?
No. Oh, I love cake.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering, like, maybe if you like, there's some people that I know, like my son, for example, and some of his friends, they'll eat like the buttercream frosting off of a cupcake and then leave the cupcake. Whereas,
those kids would never get a cupcake in my house again.
no, my son and I, we're like the perfect pair. I scrape off the frosting and I give it to him and I eat the cake part, which
I like both.
is superior. Although whipped cream frosting, now you'd have to fight me for that. I like that stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So, do you like circus peanuts?
No.
Okay. I was wondering if that would be a similar favorite to the
No, the little pumpkins would be like the candy corn. It's the same stuff.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Those little pumpkins, that come out.
Yeah.
So they're basically the same thing.
So I think those the candy corn,
Mm-hmm.
Smarties, Dum Dums, Circus Peanuts, those go all into like the trash candy. Forget those. Give me some Kit Kats instead. Speaking of
Yeah, that's
which,
true.
now I'm getting hungry because, well, you probably haven't eaten either.
I haven't eaten, yeah,
Yeah, so we were talking about
and I
food
won't
here.
get to for a long time because I gotta go
Yeah, yeah. Let's
right from here somewhere else. So
all right. Let's get rolling. We have already used up 20 minutes of our
wasting time,
time.
and people,
Yeah,
no one cares about our candy,
yeah.
Halloween candy issues.
No, right now everybody's falling out of their chairs, going candy
No,
corn.
they've already turned
Ew.
us off and they're
Yeah,
listening to something else.
yeah. So anyway, before we get on to the roundtable, make sure to subscribe to us on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. So then that way you can get notified when we go live on Tuesdays. And also, if you'd like to support us on Patreon, you can find it at thisxboxlife.com/Patreon, or just search for us on patreon.com. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You probably spend, a year's worth of $1 a month just at Starbucks in one day or 2 days, or who knows, however long that is. So, it's not required, but definitely appreciated. Helps us keep the lights on, is what I've heard other people say. So it works for me. Also, you can leave us a tip at thisxboxlife.com/donate. So, first thing I wanted to talk about is, the name of the show is Xbox Liveless. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. That was so long ago, 20 minutes ago. I can't remember. But Xbox Live has been having a hard time lately. I don't know if you've been on enough to notice this, but I don't know, since like August through now, like the past 2 months, they've had like a whole series of outages, of which I just
Yeah,
had a problem the other day where I was trying to get, um, what's it called? Borderlands. I was trying to get Borderlands 3 installed, and I put in the code from, I think it was on my app or on my phone, one of the two. So I put the code in there, and then I was trying to install it, and it just wouldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't even pull up the store or anything. It kept giving an error, which makes me wonder. I'm like, oh, is this just with my account? And then, I went up to what the Xbox Live status webpage. Sure enough,
yeah.
they had store issues and some other issues as well.
Everything is down.
Yes. And I was reading some stuff about this like afterwards, and the Xbox Live status has been given all sorts of names. Of my favorite, which is a dumpster truck fire of lately, and but at least there's a way to see if it's you or not, right? Which is
Yeah,
appreciated, because then you can stop trying to reboot your wireless router, or always start looking for updates, like maybe the firmware is wonky or something on the router.
yep.
But yeah, some of the stuff that's been going on lately, so like way back in early August, there were 2 days where many folks were having trouble accessing their games and movies that they purchased. That was through August 6th and 7th. Then on August 28th, there was an outage again. After they fixed this, party chat immediately went down. So it's like you break one thing, or you fix one thing, you break another. The next day, TV on demand had issues. Same day, the whole Xbox store went down in Asia. Then on August 30th, there's another like complete outage. Um, Move forward a week to August 6th, down again. This went through the 7th. So August 6th through 7th and September 6th through 7th. So somebody must have set like a calendar entry. Xbox Live down, repeat every month. Then on September 11th, party chat went down. And then, let me see, then this is the one that I ran into. The store went down. This would have been on the 13th. Yeah, this was on the 13th. And then party chat again ran into issues 2 times across 4 hours. And of course, they got to rub salt in the wound. Of course, PlayStation Network was fine the entire time.
Yep.
And it's annoying when you have to have the validation, of course, right? Everything has to phone home in order to work, but I understand that's how everything is nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not an Xbox unique issue. It's everything. Everything is cloud based and so forth. But it's just kind of funky how the service that's been pretty good for quite a while all of a sudden has just had roadblock after roadblock. Now, I'm sort of in the business of technology where we interface a lot with the cloud, and maintaining all of this stuff is actually pretty difficult because you think it's just Xbox Live. Well,
it's not just
right. I mean,
there's lots of layers to it.
Oh, it is just crazy. And you have authentication layers. You have the Xbox Live Store, which has its own hooks. You have the back end service. You have all these different components that have to work together. And if any one of them have a hiccup, I mean, the whole thing comes crashing down. So, I mean, it sucks that, we've had so many hiccups lately, but I don't know. Hopefully we're behind it. Or are we going to get another issue on October 6th and 7th? We shall see. But it has not been a good 2 weeks. I mean, 2 months for Xbox Live. So we'll see. Maybe it's down right now. Who knows? It just so everybody knows, if Live is down right now, it might be a while for it to come up because they're all watching our live stream right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, they probably just stopped after we complained about him or talked about him.
No, I didn't. I haven't said a word.
Yeah.
So that's just Presar, guys. That's Presar. He's the account you want to ban off of Xbox Live.
As they go through and delete, everything in my library. Why is the only thing that I own across all Xboxes now the Doritos Dinosaur Rush game or whatever it was called?
Now they're going to take that away from you too, since they know you didn't actually complete it.
That's right. I thought that they would have forgotten, but thanks for reminding them. Oh. But anyway, just thought I'd bring that stuff up. There's a interesting article that I saw on Forbes that had 5 reasons to buy an Xbox One X over a PlayStation 4 Pro. And sometimes you can take these articles with a grain of salt, because usually they're like, fanboys shilling one system over another. But I thought some of the stuff was kind of interesting because a lot of the stuff we know, some things we might not. But I wanted to get some of these, some of your thoughts on this, Wing. So number one that they have is the Xbox One X is the most powerful console available.
Boom, mic drop.
Yes. There you go.
What more do you need to know?
Yeah. So, in terms of cycles and GPU, no, how's that go?
Gigaflops or teraflops or
no, when you
flops.
compare the GBs and the MHZs, it's like, this one has more GBs than the other. That's how the non-technical people compare things.
Yeah.
I have no idea what a GB is, but it has more. So, they talk about how, yeah, it's the most powerful. Well, what does that mean? There's some differences in the way 4K is done between the systems.
True
And
4K, not checkerboarded 4K.
yeah, and there's a couple other differences as well.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that this is enough to make you want to buy one over another? Like, I don't think so. I mean, you can still have like a great experience even
Oh
on an
yeah.
Xbox One S.
Oh yeah. It's marketing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's true. It is the most powerful console
Yeah.
out there right now. So, I mean, if you want the best, then best hardware wise, then this is the one to get.
Yeah. It's like if you want a true 4K experience, then you go Xbox One X. But in the end, does it really matter? It's the game quality, and half the time you can't even see the difference,
Right.
between, 1080 and 4K, just because the stuff's going on so fast. If it's a still image, yeah, you can see it then. But
Right.
when everything's a blur, or like if you're playing Forza, for example, well, Forza's not available on PlayStation, but like Forza Horizon, you can't tell if that background is 4K or not as you're going, 150 miles an hour in a Ferrari. It just goes by too fast.
Yep.
Okay, and then number 2, Xbox One X is the only console for Gears 5 and Halo Infinite.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can play these on PC, and you can also
Well,
it says
it's only
because they're
console.
huh?
It's the only console for
Right.
Gears
Well,
5.
right, but even that statement is wrong
Oh, I see what you're saying.
because console wise, I'm just saying you can play these elsewhere, but or you're going to be able to play them on Windows. But the for the console side, the Xbox One X is not the only place you can play it. You can play it on the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Because the article is reasons to buy an Xbox One X instead of a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, right.
So, the reason to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation, regardless, is because of Gears and Halo. They're,
Exclusive.
that's right. They're exclusive. Just like you could say, well, you can play God of War and Uncharted on a PlayStation. You can't play them on an Xbox. So I don't really consider this as an accurate statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Again, it's true. But if you're not interested in those franchises, then it really is not. It's a non-goer. I mean, I think they're great, but again, it's whatever.
Yeah, I get it. So then they say a Game Pass Ultimate is a great deal.
Again,
Yeah.
This is for Xbox. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the X. So they're not so
True.
far out of 3 things that they've said. Only one actually pertains to the X, and that's the hardware.
True.
The other 2 you can play on an Xbox One or an S or an Xbox One S.
An original
An
S.
S or an X.
Or then what's the sad version as well?
Yeah. I don't consider that. That's still an S, right?
Yeah.
Still an S. So.
Xbox One S all digital.
Correct.
Sad. Yeah.
Not trying to play devil's advocate here, but
no, it's
because I agree with their statements. It's just these 2 of these items don't support the headline.
Well, the other 2 won't support them either. Just wait. Okay, then the next one is backward compatibility is awesome.
All right.
And I do have to say that I find for some reason, and it could be just in my head, because a lot of things are just in my head, is I feel that back compat games feel like they run too fast on an X. It's hard to describe. Like, like the scrolling and like the movement on the screen. It's like it's almost like the X is too good. It's
It
like
is too good.
it's too fast for the rendering, and it's like you almost need to slow it down. So yeah, it's probably in my melon. So backwards compatibility, yeah, it's a cool feature of the Xbox, but it's not exclusive to the X. And then
Right.
Microsoft has acquired some excellent studios. Yeah, again, not. I guess if you were to read that title of this article literally of why to buy an X over a Pro, most of these are not purely X versus Pro. They're more Xbox versus PlayStation.
And again, a lot of these you can play on, like and they also got listed Age of Empires Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Age of Empires is not playable on the console.
Right.
It's on the PC.
Yep.
So they need to take that out of this article. A lot of these things that they list in all these studios too, Microsoft has said that these are not, does just because they own a studio doesn't mean that the studio is not going to be able to make games for other platforms. So whoever wrote this
So
article,
are
I
you
guess I'm being very nitpicky.
are
They did a terrible job.
are you hoping that for that opposites to be true with Sunset Overdrive?
I would love
Because Sony
Sunset
just bought.
Overdrive 2 to come and be available for Xbox. That would be great. But
Yeah, but they're now owned by Sony.
yeah, but maybe they'll do the same thing. I doubt it. Their mentality is kind of old school. We got to
Mm-hmm.
fight everybody, and
Oh
they
yeah,
don't want to get along, so I don't expect it. But Microsoft's just really taking a different viewpoint here.
yeah, oh yeah.
So I mean, look, I agree. Xbox One X is better than PS4. I do. It's just the article is only one of their 5 items actually supports that statement.
To the X, yeah.
Yeah, to the X itself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just it's a poor article, but the headline is still true.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Got 20 minutes left. You talk too much.
Oh, whatever.
We only got through one story in like 20 minutes. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to Gears 5. Got a couple of things to talk about Gears 5. Uh, there was a Yahoo Finance article, which I found kind of odd that Yahoo Finance, right? A business finance site would be writing about Xbox and Gears stuff. But
Well, what was the last article that came from Forbes?
well, Forbes has been doing a lot of gaming
But
stuff
still,
lately,
but
and it's
still.
been better than that one that we just went over. I think it suffers from we know too much.
Yeah.
So to the layperson that doesn't know anything about gaming, they learned a couple of things by reading that, but we knew way more, which is maybe problematic.
We're just too smart for the article.
Yeah. So the Yahoo article, talks about Gears 5 and the huge success of it, and they wrote in like the sub headline, I guess is what you would call it. The coalition sets new records in the popular franchise, but the underlying success may be Game Pass. And that creates an interesting scenario. I was kind of thinking about it a little bit. I'm like, yeah, Gears 5, very popular, but it came straight into Game Pass, right?
Right.
And while the game was popular, how did they get that popularity? Of course, a lot of people love Gears, but the fact that their $10 a month subscription to Game Pass gets them the game for free, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, they talked about how it looks like 3 million people have played the game since it arrived on Game Pass. So that's a fair amount of copies sold, right? In or not even sold. That's a fair amount of people playing the game in what, a week? A little bit over a week, something like that.
I think that number was their first weekend.
Yeah. And they say that this has doubled the first week performance of Gears 4, which came out, what, 3 years ago. And that became the most played first party Xbox game since 2012's launch of Halo 4. And they say the key pillar of the success might well be the introduction of Game Pass and the continued rise of digital.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So that begs the question of how would the game have done if it wasn't for not games with gold, of Game Pass? Would it have done like half
I
of
think
that
it still would have done. I think it would have still hit this number.
in the first week?
Yes.
I think it definitely would have over time.
I think it would have done it in the first week. I don't think. I mean, it's a fifth title in a very successful franchise. There's been a lot of hype for it. I think there's been a lot of excitement for it. Gears 4 was an excellent game that left you kind of hanging. You know, people want to know, okay, we're ready. I want to know how the story is going to progress. I really, I mean, yes, I do think they got a bump because anybody on Game Pass didn't have to fork out the money. So, you know, but I don't know. It just seems that I just think that this probably would have done as well. I don't know.
I know, like for myself personally, I've got.
Think about it. Okay, so the game first came out in 2006 on the 360, right?
Yep.
That said, it has welcomed 3 million players since it. Let's see, hold on. The fifth numbered game in the frame. Oh, sorry. So yeah. So the first game came out in 2006 on the 360. 1 year, right, into the life cycle of the 360. So there wasn't as many people on the 360 at that point, I'll bet you, if we could, this is my thought, than there are on the Xbox One at this point. The Xbox One has been out for what? How many years now? 6?
What,
6 years?
2013? November 2013, I think it was.
So it's like 6 years. So we've got a bigger audience on the Xbox. They've put the previous Gears games into Game Pass and made them backwards compatible. So, like, people could play if they were new to the Xbox generation with Xbox One. So I don't know. Of course, I guess if that's the case, if people are coming because they played the first ones on Game Pass, then they definitely came to this one that way. But I don't know. I just think I don't know if it's as a big of a draw. I mean, because like I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. For myself, I didn't buy the game because I'm in Game Pass and they're giving it to me. If I wasn't in Game Pass, I would have bought it. And I think a lot of people for this particular game, they already know what to expect. They either want it or they don't. Gears 5 is not going to be like, well, let me see what others say about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like Halo Infinite. Everybody knows whether they're getting Halo Infinite or not. No one's sitting there going, well, I'm not really sure. You're either a fan of Halo or you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what the game's going to be. You know what to expect. So I don't know. It's just my thoughts. I don't think Game Pass had as big of a factor as they're saying. But Microsoft would want to probably spin it that way. And again, I feel like I'm being anti-Microsoft today. I'm not really. I'm not. I'm
No,
not
no,
trying to be, you know. But I
because
don't know
we are
how
not
you.
associated with them.
That's
We
right.
are fans
We are fans,
doing
so
this show for fans. Yeah.
I'm glad it's having success. But
And, they also have what? This is out on, it's out in Game Pass, right?
yep,
And I think the PC version came out at the same time, right? And it's on Steam and probably the
I
Xbox
don't.
store,
I don't think it did. It come out on
or
PC
no,
at
the
the same
Windows
time.
store. Yeah, I thought it came out on all three.
Okay.
Steam, the Windows Store, which I guess is part of Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Well, it would have been part of Ultimate. Actually, I'm curious now. Let me see. Let me look it up on. Oh, you got to run that other app, I think. Your Gears 5.
Do, 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 do.
Oh, don't do it. Don't start the video. Don't start the video. Okay.
I'm just trying to fill in some time here.
Yeah. So yeah, pulling it up in the Microsoft store. Yeah, it's install. Yeah, so
For
PC
PC.
version and then let's see here. Yeah, Steam, $59.99. Or you can get the Ultimate Edition for $79.99.
Yeah. I
So it's multiple platforms. It's part of Game Pass. And then for the people that don't have, all any of that Windows 10 stuff, they're on Steam all the time, then, they have that as an option as well. How come it's not an Epic store? I wonder. But
Epic doesn't. It's not an Epic game anymore.
no. Although Borderlands is on there for
And
PC.
um, well, yeah, but so this isn't an Epic game anymore. And Epic doesn't want. I believe that they don't want. They're trying to give exclusive stuff in their store. I remember hearing an article about that, or hearing another group
Wait,
podcast talk about
Gears was an
it.
Epic game?
It used to be
Oh, it did?
Gears of War. Yeah, that was. Remember Cliffy B from Epic?
Yeah.
This was their game. Microsoft
Oh,
purchased the rights to Gears franchise, and that's why we have the coalition now.
that's right.
They're carrying it on. So I don't, again, but it's not like Epic wouldn't sell it. I'm sure they would. But my understanding on the Epic store is they're trying to do, like, if you put it on our store, you can't put it on Steam, for like a timed frame. And Microsoft might have just said, we're going to put it on Steam, which is the more popular platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be an issue why.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
So
Um, and I also saw something that said that retail sales of Gears 5 were abysmal, which is the word that they used. So that's interesting. It's like, is that going to be the trend from now on?
what was abysmal?
Retail sales.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think it's been that way.
Yeah.
Everything's gone digital. It's just, you know, I don't see GameStop staying in the game very long.
Yeah. And, like our friends out there in Australia that were telling us about all the constraints with the
Yeah, with the internet.
bandwidth and internet, and how a game can cost you double because you bought the game and then it costs you as much in internet charges to update the
Yeah.
game with the first day download. You know, they mentioned that a while later that stuff has eased up, so that's improved and not as much of an issue. But it's like, why would you even need a retail version other than just being something to give a gift? You know,
Right.
That somebody who's not into gaming is like, oh, I'll buy, my nephew or my son or whatever this. So put it under the Christmas tree or birthday present. Little do they know you can probably get that card that's hanging on the rack as well, which is the digital download code, which is
Yeah.
probably even better than the retail version. Or, well, I guess you can't sell that to GameStop either. But all right, here let's get rolling. Got
Yep.
we're running out of time here. So last thing I want to mention about Gears 5, and I thought this was pretty funny. So Gears 5 has dethroned the king of gaming on Xbox, which has been the king for the past year, and that's Fortnite. I thought that was kind of
Not in
funny.
my house.
Yeah, in your
Yeah.
house, Fortnite is
Fortnite's
still king,
king.
right?
Yeah.
So it said, what was it? Fortnite has been the at the top of the most played games for a year now, mainly because it's free and it's popular. And Gears 5 in the past week has knocked it down to number 2. So I wonder how long it'll be how long it'll be like that, and if Fortnite will retake it.
I would say for a week or two, and then that might be about it. I
Yeah.
think it will. Fortnite will probably reclaim its spot.
Or it might be just because, the kiddos all play Fortnite and the
Are all
parents
back in
booted him.
school.
Yeah, the parents booted him off of the systems so they could play Gears. And then once the parents all finish Gears, then the kids will be back
Well, that's
playing
the thing too.
Fortnite.
I mean, there are a lot of kids. There, I think everyone is officially now back in school
Yes.
in the U.S. at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my kids went late; they didn't go till after Labor Day. Um, but yeah, it's all the schools in the U.S. are back, and so there should be a lot less Fortnite happening
Mm-hmm.
just from that.
Okay. Moving on. This is going to be a quickie here. So, with the advent of all these devices that are always on listening to us, like the Amazon device, Google has its own device. We had Cortana, right?
Yep.
Had keyword. All these devices basically, record things and they send them to the cloud for analysis. I'd always heard that they go to the cloud because the cloud's faster at analyzing this stuff than cheap hardware that you might have in these devices. Although you would think that it would be easier for an Xbox
Yeah.
because it's not cheap hardware like the other stuff is. So, in terms of the Microsoft front, that really happened with the Kinect devices that everybody is now usually Kinectless, so it's not much of an issue. But there's always privacy concerns, and there's if you're concerned about privacy and recordings going to the cloud and stuff. I don't know if you could ever have opted out of it, but you can rest assured that supposedly now the recordings being sent to the cloud, that has been discontinued for some time now. And you can actually go to account.microsoft.com/privacy, and you can see if there's been any recordings that got sent up to the cloud from your system, and you can actually delete them. So the reason why they used to do this is they would do analysis of recordings, based on what was said. And apparently this came from Microsoft, and this is like the big brother-ish part of it. It says, we occasionally review a low volume of voice recordings sent to the Xbox user to another when there are reports that a recording violated our terms of service and we need to investigate. This is done to keep the Xbox community safe and is clearly stated in our terms of service. So even in a party, there can be recordings that are transmitted. So if somebody reports you, your recordings might have gone up to be reviewed and such. I would imagine there's too many of these. You know what? With 60 million people with active subscriptions, you can't monitor all of them, but maybe like big
No.
offenders, um, can be investigated. So again, that was accounts. What was it? Account.microsoft.com/privacy or privacy, depending on where you're from. Another thing, there was another instance supposedly of a kid going nutty and billing like crazy. This was in England. It made the news stories. I don't know how tabloidy this is or not, but it was this week. And the kid supposedly dropped 300 pounds on the mom's credit card buying Minecraft and Roblox stuff. I can imagine a parent just going nutty. So, thankfully it's never happened to me because I've talked to my son that if he ever does it even once, he loses his privilege. No, whoops, it was done on accident, because that can easily happen. Wink, wink. But so there's a no strike rule. Is that what you call it? So you don't get any strikes or no warnings.
Yeah. Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So this started. So if you got kids on your system, um, they basically said how this happened. So the mom apparently added her credit card to the account so the kid could have done like a 5 pound purchase or something like that and then forgot about it. And, a little kid can easily just go bye, 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 bye. And then, the parent doesn't know until all that stuff nails your credit card and then you get the bill like weeks later.
Yep.
So that serves as a warning. If you let your kids buy stuff, definitely turn on that permission thing because that's in the parental settings now where the parent has to authorize each and every purchase. So be careful with all that stuff. And then I just got one more thing. This is another one of those articles, the 5 articles. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Mark. So this was 5 studios Xbox should acquire. I have a raised eyebrow to some of these.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm just curious to see what you think. So the first one is Asobo Studio. So
Say, huh?
yeah, exactly. I was just going to make a comment about Asohu. So it's a French developer that made fantastic games such as Ratatouille, Wall-E, Toy Story 3. Those are some of their games in the 2000s. But they also did Zoo Tycoon, which I think was a launch title on the
It was
X. And
very good.
yeah, and they did some development on Recore,
Sucked.
which kind of tanked like immediately.
Yep.
But their big hit recently was A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now, this is not a game that I've played, but I've heard a lot of people talking and giving this game praise. So, what do you think about that? Is one hit of a game with 20 years of mediocrity, is that enough to make this studio worth getting?
No, and also, I mean, it does say they're working on Flight Simulator 2020.
Yeah.
But again, if it's a second party studio, well, they can stay that way. Microsoft doesn't have to buy every studio.
Right.
I mean, they've bought a lot.
Yeah.
And you want to have, I don't think their track record, because they pulled off one good game, doesn't mean that their next one's going to be any good.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to look at the history. Now, Microsoft also says they want developers that are going to do some unique stuff. So if this Plague Tale is a unique title and it did sell well, then maybe they would consider it and try to keep the studio doing the same type of stuff and get away from the licensed stuff. So
Because they did buy that one studio that did that. What's that one game where you take those pills and you got those like people who
we
wear
happy
those?
for you.
Yeah, they bought We Happy Few, which I tried that when it was like early release, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with these people? Why would you make a game like this? But
I
it's
played it for a little bit, but
yeah,
it just didn't keep my interest.
yeah, and they bought them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we both give this studio choice a meh, right?
Eh.
Yeah. Okay, next one
I
is
would give it a pass.
okay. So okay, you pass and I give it a meh. Okay, next one
Okay.
is Don't Nod Entertainment. They made Life is Strange and I don't know if it's Vampire or Vampire. I'm not sure how to say that.
I think it's Vampire.
Vampire. Okay.
I think.
So Life is Strange, that one's what in season 2 now. Again, that's another one that people are like, you know, raving about. And that second one, I think with the little boy.
Yeah, the Captain
Yeah,
Adventures of Captain something, I
something.
think.
Yeah. I mean, that looks so good. I mean, it's been on one of those I've seen. I'm like, I gotta play that some other day, not today. You know what I mean? It's like all the TV shows that I've got recorded. They're like, I need to watch this one day, and it's like 5 years later, I haven't watched a single episode. But I think these guys definitely have something with Life is Strange. I don't know too much about Vampire. I haven't been following it. Um, and we got what Tandy Boy Sue's
Yeah.
saying Life is Strange is great. Yeah, there's another vote for how good these games are. So I could see I could see this because of the Life is Strange hook. I give it a probably, but I don't know about having it be an Xbox studio. You know what I mean, or Xbox game studio.
You,
It's
I gotta quickly interject here. The Tandy Boy in our chat. This is one of our buddies from Australia. We
yep,
were just talking about earlier,
yep,
and he does make a good point about We Happy Few. He said he finished the game in 5 minutes, which I did too. The very first time I tried it, because if you don't, because it starts out, you're going through the intro and all that stuff,
right,
and then your first thing is to take a pill, and if you don't, then the game ends. So, I mean, the credits roll. So you got
mm-hmm.
to take your pill. Or I think, no, I take that back. If you take the pill, yeah, if you take the pill, it ends. The game ends
Okay,
because you're basically saying, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this. The drive is the point of the game is you stop taking the pill. So,
right.
but yeah, it's Andrew from Australia
Mm-hmm.
who's in our chat right now, and he's him and his brother Richard
Yep.
are good friends. Are
Oh, no,
good mates,
I
right? Good
yeah,
mates of ours.
I just saw his first post, which I missed before, and he goes, "My brother and I are split on retail versus download." He goes, "I use Game Pass now, but Richard is set on retail." So
Yeah,
Richard is sticking with his old retail
for as
disc
long as he
thing.
can.
Yeah, until they're all gone. All right.
But
What?
back to the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us.
So next one is Remedy Entertainment. I'm sure
Pass.
you're gonna have. I knew it. I knew you're gonna say that. So they've had a whole bunch of games from the past. Alan Wake, way back when, Quantum Break, which looked so cool, and then a lot of folks thought it under delivered. And then 2019, they came out with just recently. They came out with
Are
Control.
you like shaking your leg or something?
Yeah, I am. Is it shaking the
Okay.
camera?
Oh boy, I can hear it.
Oh, the microphone is bouncing.
Yes.
It's
We can
apparently
all hear it.
it's going boing, 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 boing.
It's squeaking, bouncing.
Oh,
So
sorry about that. Yeah, apparently the shock mount on this thing isn't built for leg bouncing. But anyway, Remedy, came out with a bunch of titles, and then Control, which don't know what to make of this one. It's had some issues upon release, but I saw somebody, and I think it was in our Facebook group or maybe Horrible Gamers Facebook group. They were saying that it could be their game of the year. So, there is an audience for it, but you
the
know,
thing is yeah, they've done well. Um, they've been like critically acclaimed games, right?
mm-hmm,
But they haven't sold very well. So like the critics really like Remedy games,
yeah,
but it doesn't translate into massive sales of their games. Their games seem to hit a smaller market. So I don't think it's worth Microsoft's time and energy to
chase it,
do it.
yeah,
Yeah, and they all feel this. They all kind of feel the same. And that's something I've heard about. I played Alan Wake and tried to play Quantum Break. To me, they felt very similar. I've heard that Control is still kind of in that same their little weird sci-fi. What's the word? Their little weird little universe. They all are kind of similar.
yeah.
So
I know what you're saying.
it's just yeah. So I don't know. It's they are a good studio. It just I wish they would make something that interested me more. I always feel like they're good storytellers though,
Sure.
but that's just not my style. So I don't really care much for Remedy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I would say meh on this one. I could see them doing it, but to me, it doesn't seem like they make enough sales to really warrant buying a studio.
And there's an interesting note here. This article goes Remedy is one of the only independent developers that can rival Sony's story driven blockbuster action experiences. Remedy has been warming up to Sony for a while now. Last year, Control was announced at Sony's E3 presentation. Um, the game has PS4 exclusive content, and it says developers from Remedy have been openly visiting other Sony first party studios in the past year. So,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I don't.
maybe they'll
Sony
go the
can
way of Insomniac. Who knows?
maybe it won't surprise me. The article's like if Microsoft wants to stop the possible embarrassment and have a world class studio under their belt, then Remedy's it. And that Microsoft would lose all these properties of Alan Wake, Quantum Break,
Yeah.
if Sony. But again, so what?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that big. Sony's going after these like single player studios and these story driven things, and that's great. That's fine. Microsoft does not have to own that. And again, these weren't that successful. I'm curious to see how it sold, how Control has sold on the Sony platform compared to the Xbox platform.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it doesn't sell very well, I'll bet you this is a deal like let's see how it pans out here. And if it doesn't do well, Sony's not going to buy it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and I wouldn't imagine that they would. So
Yeah. But as far as studios go, in terms of what I think Microsoft is likely to do, I could see them going after these guys. It's a possibility. I don't know if it's a remote possibility or, more likely to happen, but the style of games that they do, I think, would fit in line with some of the studios that they've been picking up.
when did Control come out? They're not even showing.
Didn't it come out like beginning of September?
Oh, here it is, 27th of August. There's no data yet on that game.
Yeah. Well, the only data really is all the billions of posts everywhere about people saying that control has lack of control. There are all
Well, I'm
sorts
just
of
saying
like
there's no sales data
gaming
yet.
issues. Yeah, there's all sorts of gaming
So
issues. What frame rate, control, whatever. It was another one that was kind of a mess when it launched. Okay, next one, IO Interactive. So these are the folks that make the Hitman series. What do you think about this one?
pass. If that's all they have, one
Yeah.
game. I mean, you don't buy a studio, I don't think, for one
Mm-hmm.
game, unless it's a Gears or um, Halo or Uncharted or God of War. You know, it I don't feel that Hitman. It's got the legs, it's got the notoriety, but I don't think it's as popular or as the others.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if that's all they've got, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think the Hitman series has like a decent fan base, but people aren't, it's not like Gears 5 fan base. It's not meteoric. It's a solid, decent fan base of folks that love their games. I don't see them picking them up personally.
The good they make a good point here in this article. These guys have Deus Ex, Dishonored, um, which have both had lackluster sales. Also, their Hitman 2, actually they said it flopped commercially. But they do bring up a good point that Microsoft really is not worried about sales numbers, and they haven't shared that type of stuff because
Mm-hmm.
again, this would give more titles to Game Pass. So it's hard to make judgments. And then, maybe Remedy would be a good fit under that aspect because if you're not concerned about necessarily sales figures, but you're looking to drive up memberships for Game Pass, then it's a whole different story. You know what I mean? You're looking at it from a different aspect. You're looking at subscription services as opposed to sales numbers
Mm-hmm.
of games. So, maybe, and I think about it in that aspect, maybe Remedy would be a good fit because they do give good story games, good
Yeah.
storyline based games, which Microsoft has been known to lack. Um, you know, Gears 5, I will say, has a really good story so far.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with. It's not just a shooter. It's definitely matured, and I mean they've had, and I think since Gears of War 2 had a great story, um, and I think they've done all very well with a story base, but this one seems to be taking it even further. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I guess depending on what Microsoft wants, I could see this, going in and being because again, if it would be a part of Game Pass.
Yeah.
So if that's their goal to drive everybody to that and be the Netflix of gaming, then it is probably about quantity more than quality.
Well, solid content.
Solid
And
content.
and I do have to ask you a question. What's more annoying, my microphone shaking or your dog's squeaky toy?
Yeah, I'll get to it. I was talking.
Okay. I know.
And
He
I
was
gotta
he was
go anyway.
yeah,
So
he's agreeing with everything you said. All right, and then the last one was
yeah.
Playtronic. These guys were former Rare developers, and they made Ukulele, which I guess had a Kickstarter following. I don't see this one personally. There's so many of these style games, um, including what Lucky. Oh, I forgot that name of that little
Super Lucky Tale.
Super Lucky Tail. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, and some of the other ones, the Spyro games. You
Yeah.
know, I think it's a pass. All right, here. Well, that was all that I had. Onto the community section. Couple quick things. You can leave us a voicemail at this Xbox Life. There's a voicemail widget on there. Leave us up to a 90-second voicemail. And we got another one this week from Cat Flap. 1970, and he's doing great, keeping him just under 90 seconds. A big applaud to that. Here's what he has to say.
Hi guys, Flap Flap 1970 here from the UK. My last 10 seconds on Red Dead 2. Played a little bit more. Graphics are truly stunning. Anyway, enough of that. Borderlands 3. I've tried the new sort of game. I like it. Easy to jump into the game. Easy gameplay. The graphics are unique. Nice, unique. It's got that special look at the Borderlands series, which is good. So that is good. I'm just debating what sort of edition to get. Standard, I think deluxe or super deluxe. The prices vary quite extreme. I'm looking towards the super deluxe when it comes to all DLCs, but I'm also tempted to wait until probably 2 to 3 weeks later. And we all know the prices in these games drop rapidly, so quickly. Is it worth pre-ordering games nowadays, being digital? Is there any point? Is it worth waiting 2 to 3 weeks to get that price down? But I must admit, I am really looking forward to playing Borderlands, getting back into that original game that I remember. Great show, guys. As always, good to hear your voices.
All right, thanks for that message, Cat Flap. Yeah, he brings up an interesting point there. Well, you bought Borderlands, right?
Yeah, so I got
Yeah,
to make this real quick. I seriously have to jump off.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to before you even finish. But
Okay.
Here's the culprit, Rob. This is what you always hear.
That's not on camera. Move it a little to your left.
Oh,
Okay, I see him.
okay. So that's the
Kong
It's
Wubbo.
Wubbas.
Wubbas.
It's a Wubba. The Kong is the brand, and then Wubba is what this is called.
Okay.
And it's got this part here. He's destroyed these. They're supposed to be real tough.
Yeah.
But he is tougher. As you can see, he's got a hole there that he's ripped in the back. So that white thing is the ball, and that's what squeaks.
Okay.
And then it's supposed to have 4 of these little flaps. He's ripped 2 of them off.
Mm-hmm.
So but I buying these constantly. This is his favorite toy.
Nice.
He's sitting there staring at me like, are you going to throw it or not?
He's like, come on, give it to me. Give it to me.
But what I wanted to say before I take off is I bought the Super Deluxe version because it comes with the DLC. Previous experience with Borderlands DLC is that it's been fantastic.
Yes.
So they got a track record of providing great content that is more than just like a 30-minute thing. Especially in Borderlands 2. They did it. It was just phenomenal. Tiny Tina was like my favorite DLC of all time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
General Knox's Armory or whatever was awesome.
Yep.
They really, the first season or the first game, you could probably argue it wasn't that great. I know Mad Moxie's part was like an arena where they completely changed the game. I still really enjoyed it, but it was, I think, not liked generally. But again, Borderlands 2, their DLC was amazing. They did a great job. So I think it's worth it. He asked the question about pre-orders. Is it worth it to get pre-orders? I think the answer to that is probably not. I did get some pre-order bonuses, but I do believe that now that the game is fully out, I think if you buy the game within the first week or 2 after launch, you still get those pre-order bonuses. At least through the Xbox store.
Right.
Now I don't obviously, probably other retailers probably not. So again, those are usually cosmetics, probably stuff that you won't end up using anyways. So it's probably not worth it for that. But I think the DLC is. But that's it. Thanks for writing in. But I do got a jet. So is it going to cause a problem if I hang up on Discord here with you?
Can you just let it run and I'll just kick you out of the...
Okay. I'll just mute.
Yeah, just mute.
I'm going to mute and...
If you want, cover your camera or something like that, but just... I'll kick you out when I'm done.
Roger that.
Yeah.
All right.
Bud.
It's Wingman 709 taking off.
Whoosh. And he's off, folks. But yeah, as for me, I also wound up getting the super deluxe, super mega ultimate deluxe version. as well. I was looking at what came with the game, and cosmetics and skins and stuff like that. I really don't care about that stuff. Even some of the weapons, because I basically found that, yeah, some of those weapons might be cool, but in most games you find things that are better anyway. And I tend to use that stuff. So I really don't care about all that stuff that you get with the DLC. And the big driver for me was to actually go ahead and grab the version that came with the season pass. So that was important to me because eventually I found that with a game like this, if you really like it, getting content individually costs more, or you just wind up getting the season pass if it's available sometimes for an extra charge. So you may as well get it up front. But we'll see how that stuff turns out, because hopefully it follows, like Mark said, it'll follow the vein of the previous release with the Tiny Tina and so forth, of being quality content. And so for both of us, it's super deluxe. So thanks for sending in the message. Yet again, Cat Flap, awesome to hear your voice. And let's see here. Moving on, you can also send us a recording to contact@thisxboxlife.com. Also, we have a Twitter account, This Xbox Life, and a Facebook group. If you'd like to join the Facebook group, you can find it on Facebook. Just search for This Xbox Life, or you can go to thisxboxlife.com/Facebook. It's a closed group, which means that you do have to ask for membership, but that's strictly just to keep the spammers out. Just answer the 2 questions that are in the beginning there. The questions are usually like, one of them is like, who's a host on the show? Well, that's easy to answer if you've ever listened to the show. you know at least one of the 4 hosts that we've had over the years, over the past 10 years. And once you ask for permission to join, we approve you readily, and away we go. Also, on to this week's retail releases. So what do we got here? Cue up the music.
Okay, Rob, what you got for us today? What you got for us to play? Give us a list of games that we can buy and play. Okay, Rob.
All right, this week's retail releases, that's for the week of September 16th through the 20th. We've got a couple of things. On the 16th, which is yesterday, so that was a Monday of this week, we had We Were Here. Today, Bus Simulator released, along with Rebel Cops, Stella, which is Xbox One X Enhanced. So it's 3 titles released today, and we already saw somebody on the forums talking about how they got to play Bus Simulator. There's got to be some draw to it. Farming Simulator, Bus. There's like a trailer truck one as well. All those things. You can drive a combine and Farming Simulator. It's all stuff that you don't get to do normally in real life. At least most of us don't, unless bus driving is your job. Then you get to do that every day. Tomorrow we have on the 17th. No, today is the 17th. I read all those already. We have tomorrow on the 18th, Mabel and the Wood, Scheming Through the Zombie Apocalypse, the beginning. That one looks funky with its artwork. We have Sally's Law. On the 19th, we have Truck Driver. So that's to go with the bus driver, I guess. That one is Xbox One X Enhanced. We have on the 20th, The Sojourn, Rebound Dodgeball Evolved, and Niflheim. Those last 2, Rebound and Niflheim, are both Xbox One X Enhanced. Games with Gold, we have for the month of September on the Xbox One front, Hitman, the complete first season. We just talked about Hitman and IO Interactive. And new to the scene is We Were Here. This one went live yesterday on the 16th. I keep having to look at the date. Yes, today's the 17th. So yesterday through mid-October, We Were Here. And then Xbox 360 back compat. New for the second half of the month is Tekken Tag Tournament 2. That's the 4 T's, or T to the 4th. That one is available through the end of the month. And then lastly, if you'd like to make your purchases on Amazon and give us some support the show, is what I was looking to say. If you make your purchase on Amazon and like to support the show, please make sure to use our affiliate link each and every time you make your purchases. You can find that at the top of the Facebook group or on our website. And you can also alternatively just bookmark those sites. Once you click through, just bookmark that as your Amazon link. Then when you're on there, search for anything you want. Doesn't have to be Xbox related. It could be anything, car parts, whatever, housewares, all that good stuff, blenders. If you're an iTunes user, make sure to find us on the iTunes store. Give us a review, 5 stars if you could. The more reviews that we get, the more we get boosted in the rankings over there. And then follow us on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. Subscribe on there. You'll get notifications when we go live. And also, if you're a Twitch Prime user, you can do a monthly free one-time subscription, or actually one time per month. You get one a month. You can do a free subscription to any channel that you like. We'd appreciate it if you subscribe to us. And just notably, don't let it go to waste. Just subscribe to somebody, and hopefully somebody that can take advantage of it. As we always say, if you subscribe to a millionaire or somebody with millions of viewers on there or millions of followers, they already got all the monies. Who's to say that they really need it? But if you subscribe to us, it would be much appreciated, or at least to another smaller show. And then thanks to Learned Your Lesson for the music, as always. So you heard Mark sign out a little while ago. I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all next week for episode 544. So good night, everybody.